There are many scary things you can encounter when camping, but none more frightening than a Karen. Josh Gordon uploaded this TikTok video where an irate Karen confronts him over its 2-year-old urinating in the park, and what happens is a crazy encounter you'll never forget.
Leave!
Do not touch my children ever again. Don't
Get
touch
out of
me.
our campsite!
Don't touch me.
Sir! Camp host! Camp host!
I'm just saying, do not address
Shut
my
up,
children.
sir.
Do not address
You
my
will
children.
tell your children not to
I will.
in the middle of the
I
park
will. Thank
and
you for
start
telling me
yelling at
now.
people.
Now you can tell me. You just told me. Thank
Say
you.
what you're
I
doing,
will
children.
address it.
Nobody knows who you are because you're not with your
I don't need it. It doesn't matter that there's 7 of us camping here.
Please tell him to leave.
Address me and not my
Get
children.
away, sir.
Over to your site.
All I said was
Get
address
away.
me and not my children. I know my
Keep your
children.
children in check
My
then,
children
sir.
were wrong. That
Nobody
was
can-
wrong.
Nobody can address you because you're
That
not with your road
I have
children.
7 of us right here in a row.
No, they're all right here, sir.
There's 7 of us.
Go away.
Don't address my children.
Go away.
What are your thoughts on this? Did Karen have a point, or did she overreact? Based in northern England, Grizzly Gaz creates a variety of entertaining history lessons alongside its typical camping content. In this particular video, he explored the legend of the Lady in White, a ghost said to haunt the woods near her former farm since she hanged herself centuries ago. Despite this chilling tale, Gaz and his dog Fendi appear completely at ease as they settle into their hammock. However, once night falls, Gaz is suddenly disturbed by the sounds of a woman weeping.
Hello? Hello? Nope. 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 Hello? Kom igen. Hello? Hello?
As his fear escalates, Gaz quickly gathers his things to leave. While making his way out, he is startled by another eerie noise, this time the sound of someone whistling. Even after encountering what some might consider evidence of the paranormal, Gaz has aimed to stay grounded, rejecting the more outlandish, skeptical theories while remaining uncertain about whether it was truly supernatural. What do you think? In a secluded area of the wilderness, a solo camper arrives at their favorite spot, excited to relax and enjoy the tranquility in nature.
On top of me in my actual campsite here. Then in front of my RV, you got these three boys setting up their tent right in front of my RV also.
Taken aback by the unexpected presence, he surveys the scene in disbelief. His camping chair is moved, his tripod has been repurposed, and unfamiliar figures now occupy what was once his sanctuary. They are also using their ATVs, which roar with loud exhausts and blasting sounds from a speaker. Growing more uncomfortable and overwhelmed by fear, he recognized he could no longer cope with the situation. Understanding that remaining could heighten the danger, he concluded it was best to leave rather than risk making things worse. He opted to withdraw and find safety. An adventurous explorer took on the January 2020 Stealth Camping Alliance Challenge, using his truck as both a ride and a shelter against the harsh winds. He set up camp in the ghost town of McNabb, a place that was once a bustling railway community but now stands as a quiet reminder of days gone by. As night fell, he settled in, the distant rumble of trains adding to his excitement despite the freezing cold. He was feeling good about staying hidden until things took an unexpected turn.
All good there, brother? All right. Yeah, man. Enjoy your camping. I know it's weird and it gets people's attention for some reason.
A crunch of gravel gave away the arrival of local law enforcement, responding to a report of a suspicious vehicle. Though they allowed him to stay, the magic of the adventure was shattered. Just 3 hours into what was supposed to be an all-night stealth camp,
At least you have paying attention, right? So nothing happens in the area.
I'll go with that. It's all good.
Whatever.
he found himself battling frustration and disbelief. As he packed up and drove away from McNabb, its ghostly outline fading in his rearview mirror, he reflected on yet another run-in with the cops during his camping escapades. It left him wondering if he'd ever truly master the art of stealth camping. But even with his setback, his spirit wasn't crushed. He vowed to return, knowing that every failed attempt is just a lesson, and every bump in the road is a stepping stone to future stealth camping success. In the rugged landscape of the Peak District, our fearless adventurer sets out on his latest camping trip of 2021, filled with hopes of clear skies and stunning views. As he climbs to the campsite suggested by a fellow outdoor enthusiast, the scenery unfolds. Misty valleys below and a pink sky with the moon above create a picture of serene beauty, foreshadowing the challenges to come. As darkness falls, the temperature drops sharply, preparing him for a night of unforeseen trials.
It's looking like quite a nice evening. Temperature shouldn't get down too low, hopefully.
As night falls, the camper's attempts to photograph the starry sky are interrupted by a bright, overzealous moon and malfunctioning batteries. However, it's not these technical issues that truly test his resolve. It's the primal guttural sounds echoing from the darkness beyond his tent. Initially, he attempts to brush off the noises as the usual sounds of the wilderness, the hooting of owls, the rustling of leaves, or the distant howl of a wolf. But these sounds are different. They feel closer and more menacing, as if they are encroaching on him. As dawn arrives, it brings a feeling of relief and a renewed sense of purpose. Our adventurer, though sleep-deprived, is resolved to capture the sunrise he faced the night to see. Locals direct a camper to an iron-gated entrance where young ones frequently report witnessing unusual phenomena. Eager to uncover the truth, the camper sets out on their investigation.
Woodland, she says kids often complain about seeing strange things.
As he enters the woodland, the camper carefully navigates the terrain, taking note of the nearby cricket fields and the eerie choir of sounds surrounding him. While exploring, he observes signs of human activity, makeshift shelters and fire pits, while staying vigilant for anything out of the ordinary. The atmosphere becomes increasingly tense as he ventures deeper into the woods, with the rustling leaves and distant animal calls contributing to the unsettling ambiance. He can't shake the feeling of being watched, and his senses are heightened by the chilling stories he has heard.
So we're having a little look around and been speaking to part landowner there, and this is a nice dog. He's actually, you know, paying a bit of respect to his dog.
However, an unexpected encounter with a local man shifts the narrative. The man, clearly intoxicated, insists that the land belongs to him and speaks of buried pets. The camper attempts to engage him respectfully, but the man's unpredictable behavior raises red flags. His slurred speech and erratic movements leave the camper feeling uneasy, torn between curiosity about the man's tales and a growing concern for his safety.
Yeah, I'm gonna look down there first, see what I've seen. One spot, but
It's not really a look at, is it?
all I'm looking for is like a nice.
Realizing that the situation has veered off course, the camper decides to abandon his original plan. Although disappointed, he remains undeterred and intends to return another day, this time with proper permission from the actual landowner. As he packs up his gear, he feels a conflicting mix of frustration and excitement about the potential for future exploration. After finishing work near Bournemouth, a camper looks for a place to set up as daylight dwindles. He discovers a picturesque woodland but realizes it's more populated than he would like. With time running out, he hastily searches for a discreet spot to pitch his camp. He settles on a site nestled between two roads, offering some background noise without being too disruptive. As rain begins to fall, he quickly sets up his hammock and tarp.
It's protection, just in case the wind starts blowing through the side of the hammock. But anyway, if nothing else happens, I'll catch you in the morning.
He keeps his gear dry with a ground tarp and prepares a cup of coffee, pondering an early dinner and noodles. The sound of rain tapping on the tarp becomes a soothing backdrop as evening falls. He settles in, wearing gloves to fend off the chill, when suddenly he experiences a chilling encounter that will give you nightmares.
I can hear you.
He begins to hear odd noises, footsteps that seem to be bipedal, creeping near his hammock. Each time he uses his flashlight to check, he discovers nothing, leaving him feeling increasingly unsettled as the night wears on. On a rainy, misty morning, he wraps up his trip, savoring a warm cup of coffee and some oats before packing his gear. Despite getting soaked, he maintains a positive outlook and leaves no trace behind, aside from a dry patch where his camp once stood. What do you make of that? In this video, we see YouTubers explore a cave known for Tommyknocker legends. A type of cave spirit known for tormenting and confusing miners managed to squeeze through the tight passages to delve deep into the cave and capture incredible evidence of the Tommyknockers on camera.
We got wind that there is a cave that's been having some strange noises and some activity inside.
Oh my god, there's whistling.
Whistling, dude. There's something whistling in here. No, dude, I don't feel safe. I'm out.
People claim that hearing a Tommyknocker whistle serves as a warning to exit before they cause the tunnel to collapse. Can't blame him for bailing. Two friends, Aldo and his companion, venture into the eerie doll forest, infamous for its haunted reputation. Having explored the area previously, they've encountered dolls suspended from trees and evidence of occult rituals. This time, they bring their camping gear along with a few dolls to contribute to the collection. As they set up for their stay, they suddenly hear a mysterious bell ringing.
What the frick is that? What is, guys? That's the sound of the bell. Hey!
During this time, Aldo comes across a man in a red cloak holding a bell, which startles them both. When he reunites with his companion, they discover menacing messages scrawled on their tent.
What the hell? Oh my god. Somebody wants his dead, dude. Leave or die. Whoa!
Despite the unsettling encounter, they decide to continue exploring the doll area, noting that it has been altered by a recent tornado. Remarkably, the dolls appear to be largely undisturbed.
Come to this forest, everyone. That is new, dude. This is giving some weird energy. That bee almost got me, or freaking giant.
As night descends, they embark on a paranormal investigation using tools such as a spirit box and a REM pod. They experience several unexplained events, including a doll igniting spontaneously and their equipment malfunctioning. They also hear disembodied voices urging them to leave, but the worst is still to come. The situation intensifies when their phone is violently hurled from a tree and they find their campsite ransacked, presumably by the man in the red cloak. Overwhelmed by fear and the mounting paranormal activity, they decide to abandon their camping trip and exit the forest immediately. In this bone-chilling video, a group of friends faced a tense situation that was quite unlike any other. Their story starts off on a lighthearted note as they come together to plan their upcoming workout regimen. Little did they realize that their next adventure would take a dark twist. Days later, they embarked on a camping trip, seeking peace in the wilderness. They stumbled upon a location that seemed far from civilization, or so they thought, and enthusiastically set up their campsite for the night to come. A clear and distinct human voice suddenly pierced the night air about 20 feet away, causing the friends to freeze in place and exchange anxious glances. In an attempt to ease the tension, one of them called out a cheerful greeting.
Yo, what's up?
The reply they received was anything but welcoming. A torrent of curse words erupted from the darkness, with the unseen stranger's fury evident in every word. The venom in the voice conveyed a deep resentment toward their presence, as if the stranger viewed them as intruders in what he believed was his territory.
It's dogs.
Fear seized the group as they understood the gravity of their situation. Wordlessly, they began to hastily and silently pack their belongings. As they worked, they cast anxious glances into the darkness, half expecting the furious stranger to appear at any moment. In the eerie shadow of a notorious haunted house, our fearless vlogger and his crew set out for a camping adventure that quickly takes a wild turn. Just as they arrive, the skies open up and out of nowhere, a fierce snowstorm hits. They scramble to set up their tent, with their plans for a chilly evening turning into an all-out battle with the elements. But the weather isn't the only thing messing with them. Strange noises start coming from the darkness, pulling them out of their tent and into a face-off with something they can't quite explain. Whatever it is sends them racing back to the safety of their tent, hearts pounding with a mix of fear and adrenaline. When dawn finally breaks, they find the whole place blanketed in snow. The next day, the vlogger reflects on their intense night. The freezing cold had been brutal, even messing with their cameras and phones, a harsh reminder of the challenges they faced in their bone-chilling adventure. Listen to the horrifying screams of a woman screaming in the distance of this campsite. Believing someone might be in distress, he grabs his camera and makes his way toward the source of the scream. However, when he reaches the location, he doesn't find a woman. Instead, he uncovers something entirely different. A man concealed in the trees uses the scream to draw the RV owner out. Fortunately, the RV owner sees him before he gets too close, giving him just enough time to retreat into the vehicle. However, that doesn't mean he's safe yet. His worst fear comes true when he hears a gunshot, indicating that someone is trying to hurt him. A few minutes later, his bay door alarm starts sounding. Despite the obvious risk, he decides to open the door to see what's going on. In the dark wilderness in North Georgia, two fearless investigators return to an old hunter's camp where they'd had some strange experiences before. As they explore the area, they notice new things, a pavilion and a bathroom structure that weren't there last time. At first, everything feels quiet and calm, but as night falls, the peaceful forest starts to shift into something more mysterious. Out of nowhere, a tree shatters and the silence of the woods is broken by eerie echoes from all around. With their hearts racing, they try to communicate, knocking on trees, and to their surprise, they get unsettling responses. Then out of the blue, bone-chilling screams cut through the darkness.
Whoa. That was a scream.
It's clear these aren't just animal sounds, they're deep, almost human-like wails that send shivers down their spines. They hear footsteps crunching through the underbrush, and shadowy figures keep flickering just at the edge of their vision, always staying out of reach. As the night drags on, the feeling of being watched becomes unbearable. The strange sounds keep coming and their equipment starts failing, as if something unseen is interfering. They stumble upon a small locked building, adding even more mystery, but they can't get inside to see what's hidden there. With their gear dying and nerves on edge, the two investigators finally decide it's time to wrap up and call it a night.
Tonight we are stealth camping on the roof of a restaurant.
In an attempt to stealthily camp on the roof of a restaurant, a camper disguises himself as a construction worker to blend in and avoid drawing attention.
As you can see, I want to blend in with my surroundings, be extra stealthy, so at least until we're on the roof, you can refer to me as Construction Kevin.
However, as he climbs up, he is surprised to find someone else already on the roof.
Hello? Holy
The person on the roof introduces himself as Sam and claims to have previously worked at the restaurant, explaining that he's currently staying there. He also mentions that he plans to turn himself in to the authorities in a few days.
You scared the crap out of me.
Oh yeah, man. I used to work. I used to work here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm leaving town soon, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna stealth camp up here tonight.
No, it's been a rough time, bro.
Yeah. I got my pack and stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm not
bother you.
Yeah, I'm not a threat to you. I'm not gonna fuck with you or nothing. I swear, I'm Sam.
I'm Jay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Do you work for the city?
No, I'm pretending to be a construction guy so I can come up here unnoticed.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I don't know what to do here.
I would stay here because it's gonna be hot. I'm saying it's one person here.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I got a couple more days. I'm turning myself. I gotta go back to jail again. So.
Yeah, you're good.
I'll be gone like 2 days.
Okay.
Unless the weather gets really bad, then I'll probably leave.
Okay.
Surprised by this encounter, the camper decides against his original plan to camp on the roof.
I'll leave you be. God bless you, and I hope it all works out for you. All right. Well, take care. I'm leaving now, so. All right. God bless. All right. Let me get down from here.
The camper shares his shock and fear regarding the encounter, speculating about the man's background and the potential dangers he might pose, especially since he mentioned being a wanted felon.
We're not stealth camping up there tonight. That was absolutely terrifying. That was the scariest moment of my 11 weeks of stealth camping so far. That guy straight up told me that he was a wanted felon, and is waiting to turn himself in. He's hiding up there, and by the looks of all the cig butts and snacks and wrappers and trash up there. He's been up there for a lot of time, several days. My heart is racing. I didn't see any weapons, but he definitely looked like he could have weapons. He had a little shaving kit pouch thing that had some accoutrement à la drugs, paraphernalia and stuff in there. And he was hiding under the tarp even when I was like talking to him. I straight up asked him if he was getting high, and I'm kind of in shock. I don't know how to process what just happened.
Ultimately, he abandons his camping plans, even though he had prepared food for the night.
So I'm aborting. I have a steak marinating in the truck. I have vegetables ready to be sauteed. But I'm not sleeping up there tonight. No way in absolute hell am I gonna sleep up there.
In a dark and creepy forest, Jay Bear returns to a spot famous for previous Bigfoot sightings, his heart already racing from the spooky noises he heard earlier during a live stream. Then there's another loud bang.
There's another bang.
Fighting off a mix of curiosity and fear, he steps out of his car to leave a fruit offering near a burn pit, hoping it'll attract the elusive creature. But the second he places the fruit, the forest answers back. Ominous knocks echo through the trees, sending chills down his spine. As night falls, the forest comes alive in the most unsettling way. Jay Bear hears footsteps crunching through the leaves, Knox responding to his attempts at communication, and catches glimpses of movement just beyond the reach of his flashlight.
I know you heard that. I know you guys heard that.
He considers pulling out his new night vision camera to scan the darkness, but hesitates, freaked out by what he might actually see. Instead, he sticks to his flashlight, too spooked to go further. Things really take a turn when something big seems to move nearby. He can't see it, but it's close, and his courage starts to waver as he struggles between wanting to know the truth and the urge to stay safe. Final straw, he spots what looks like glowing orange eyes in the distance. That's enough for him. Jay Bear quickly decides to call it a night, choosing safety over pushing his luck with whatever was lurking in the darkness. Watch this terrifying encounter with a leopard that'll horrify you.
तो फाइनली अपना खाना वगैरह हो चुका है और बाकी बर्तन वगैरह हमने साफ कर लिए हैं और बॉनफायर बाहर से आप देख सकते हैं.
As night descends, the campers pitch their tent at a secluded site. Despite the darkness and pouring rain, they successfully start a fire and prepare a meal, all while staying alert. Inside their drenched tent, they attempt to rest, unaware of a leopard lurking nearby. Why they feel tense, the true danger has yet to reveal itself. The following morning, as the campers finally emerge from their tent, one of them spots a leopard nearby. A wave of panic washes over them as they realize just how close they were to a potentially dangerous encounter with a wild animal. A camping trip that quickly takes a crazy turn. As soon as they arrive, the skies open up and out of nowhere a fierce snowstorm rolls in. They rush to set up their tent with what was supposed to be a relaxing night turning into a full-on battle against the elements. But it's not just the weather that's messing with them. Strange noises start creeping out from the darkness, drawing them out of their tent and into an eerie encounter with something they can't quite explain. Whatever it is sends them scrambling back to their tent, hearts pounding, fueled by a mix of fear and adrenaline. By the time dawn rolls around, everything is buried under a thick layer of snow. The next day, the vlogger looks back on the intense night they had. The freezing cold was brutal, even shutting down their cameras and phones, a harsh reminder of the challenges they faced during their bone-chilling adventure. What begins as a tranquil camping trip swiftly turns as the once serene and familiar woods take on an eerie and unsettling atmosphere.
You?
Where are you? No, I promise. Not intentionally, at least.
I don't think it was a brand.
Unusual sounds fill the night, sending shivers down their spines. They spot a strange scratch on their vehicle, making them realize they aren't alone in the woods. The once reassuring forest now feels intimidating and menacing.
You hear that? Like that.
Their anxiety intensifies as they overhear a mention of a weapon nearby. Although it might be harmless, the possibility of danger weighs heavily on their minds. Confronted with a crucial decision, they discuss their options: stay where they are, relocate, or leave entirely.
Just
As the night drags on, their vehicle becomes a refuge, but their troubles are far from finished. When they return home, a chilling revelation awaits them. News reports surface about campers found dead in Michigan, a coincidence that feels too eerie to dismiss. This video is sure to give you chills and showcases one of the most unsettling ways to camp. While many people enjoy the extreme, as you'll see in the video, when they wake up and open their tent, it's positioned above the clouds, demonstrating their complete lack of fear. In the creepy ruins of Tom's abandoned house, paranormal investigator Mo Sagi returns to the place that kickstarted his YouTube channel. As night falls, Mo sets up his ghost hunting gear, ready to face whatever darkness has in store.
Where the hell are you? I'm right here on your property, right underneath your...
His camera picks up a shadowy figure in the distance, and terrifying screams echo from the forest, cranking up the tension. The investigation heats up at a nearby cemetery where Mo tries to connect with the spirits. Strange clicking noises start coming from the tombstones, and ghostly apparitions flicker just at the edges of his vision.
You see what I just said? Yeah, the lady screams at night. So there's a lady, I wonder if it's Ed. Yo, if we catch a woman screaming at night...
But things take a terrifying turn when out of nowhere, Mo feels a sharp burning pain across his back. He yells out in shock, describing it as invisible claws raking his skin. His friend rushes over to help, both of them trying to make sense of what just happened.
Permission? My back! Scratching me! What? Scratching me! What are you talking about?
Their minds race, searching for explanations, but it only adds to the tension of the night. Despite the creepy and painful encounter, Mo feels a weird sense of accomplishment. The experience fuels his drive to keep exploring the mysteries of the paranormal world, even though it's clear that the unknown is getting even more intense. Investigators set out on an overnight expedition in a forest infamous for its dark legends, aiming to uncover the truth behind reports of paranormal activity and sightings of skinwalkers.
Bro, what? Hold on.
Yeah, I heard that.
Where's the flashlight?
As darkness descends, their initial excitement shifts to dread. Eerie sounds resonate through the trees, and mysterious footsteps circle their camp, suggesting hidden dangers. The forest, unnaturally dark and foreboding, feels alive with threats.
Oh yeah? That's not funny. That is not funny.
They hold a spirit communication session with various devices, receiving warnings about dangers in the forest and sensing entities observing them. Their cameras around the campsite record strange movements, and one camera is suddenly knocked over by an unseen force. As they persist with their investigation in the early morning hours, they hear more mysterious sounds and voices, including what seems to be a young girl saying she's hiding and misses her family. The investigation reaches a terrifying climax when the team hears threatening noises encroaching from all directions. In a heart-pounding moment, they flee, shaken by an experience far more chilling than anything a camera could capture. If you decide to explore the notorious haunted MYUU forest, be prepared to encounter the challenges and eerie experiences that lie ahead.
Oh! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh god damn it!
The camper is alone in the forest, feeling anxious even before he sets up his camp. The sound of a stick snapping is enough to spook him, but he's about to face something far more frightening. Suddenly, something crashes into his tent while he's using his EVP recorder, and then an unsettling silence follows. Most people would have quickly packed up and left after such an event, but this camper is not like most.
And I don't want to freak myself out. I truly want to do this for me. That's why I'm staying here. If I actually felt in danger, I would not be staying here. So, I got thinking about it, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, that was probably a hunter looking for its deer that it may have killed earlier in the night.
In the midst of a seemingly harmless local park, our intrepid stealth camper sets out on what he thinks will be a typical overnight adventure.
There's somebody, hang on. I don't know if they can see it or not through the tent. I don't think so. I'm leaning right up against the light, but...
As dusk falls, an unsettling atmosphere envelops the wooded area. The camper, keenly aware of every snapping twig and rustling leaf, can't shake the sensation of being watched. While he sets up his small one-person tent, the night takes a sinister turn when footsteps approach from the darkness. His heart races and his breath quickens as he desperately tries to stay hidden.
Hello? Alright, I'm getting out of here. We're getting the hell out of here. Hello? What do you want?
Suddenly, the situation escalates as unknown individuals start touching and pulling at the tent. In a panic, the camper calls out but gets no reply. The tent collapses on him as the strangers continue to mess with it from the outside. In a frenzy, he abandons his campsite and flees into the pitch-black forest.
Away from me! They're coming behind me. I don't know what they're doing. They could just be around.
The sounds of pursuit and distant flashlights intensify his terror as he stumbles and falls. Finally reaching the safety of his vehicle, the camper escapes, leaving behind his gear and any sense of security. As dawn breaks, it offers little comfort as he returns to salvage what remains of his adventure.
What the f is happening right now? Sean, hit your cigar.
A family is camping and is greeted by an unexpected guest. The bear was practically part of the family.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my god.
He's making her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
One of the campers even fixed it a PB&J sandwich. Lucky bear.
Zero phones.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my god.
He's making her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
But he's not a dog.
What?
A camper kicks off a new adventure in his Boone Like a Camp series, participating in the February Water Challenge organized by Basic Stealth Camping and Adventures. He selects a popular tourist spot by the water where pedestrians and cyclists frequent. Unable to access his preferred camping area discreetly, he decides to adopt a more visible approach, reasoning that if he looks too obvious, people won't suspect he's camping. The adventurer surveys the area, waiting for people to leave before setting up his camp. He spots a location behind some bushes near a lake or pond, noting the abundance of geese and signs of wild pigs. He feels relieved that no wild hogs are currently present. As darkness descends, he gathers wood to cook and prepares his fish. It's around 9 p.m. on a Sunday, and he expects only a few people to be around. Suddenly, the narrative takes a turn as the camper is found. He hurriedly packs up his gear and explains that he's been caught by forest rangers who have an office in the area. They've taken his passport and 2 cameras, and he needs to report to their office.
I'm packing up my gear. I'm out of here. I have to go to the office. These foresters, they have an own.
He packs in the dark, lamenting the unexpected turn of events. Later, the camper makes his way to the forest ranger's office to retrieve his ID and cameras. In this video, 2 intrepid car campers embark on a treacherous journey to a campsite infamous for recent bear attacks. Despite the evident risks, they eagerly welcome the challenge. Their chosen campsite, located 30 to 37 miles from their starting point, boasted stunning views of mountains, distant villages, and twinkling city lights. Upon arrival, the campers quickly set about gathering firewood, heeding the advice of a passerby who emphasized the necessity of keeping a constant fire for safety. With darkness descending swiftly, they prioritized starting the fire over pitching their tent, fully aware of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. The sounds of nearby animals sent shivers down their spines, and not just from the cold. They chose to have a quick meal of instant noodles, their senses heightened by the potential threats around them. Throughout the night, every rustle and growl kept them on high alert. They scrapped the idea of sleeping in the tent, choosing instead the relative safety of their car. In their haste to leave the exposed area, they quickly packed up, even forgoing their morning coffee. While the nerve-wracking adventure pushed them to their limits, it provided an unforgettable experience. Deep in the heart of Cannock Chase, a forest known for its eerie supernatural legend, a group of brave paranormal investigators gather for a night of spine-chilling exploration. The team sets up camp in an area said to be the home of werewolves and black-eyed children. As darkness falls, their ghost-hunting equipment starts going off. Lights flashing, spirit boxes crackling with strange unsettling messages hinting at the unseen forces all around them.
Did you hear that voice? Just while you were talking, there was a voice over you.
The forest comes alive with an almost sinister energy. They hear footsteps echoing in the distance, whispers carried on the wind, and blood-curdling screams that send chills down their spines. Shadows dart at the edges of their vision, circling the camp like predators stalking their prey.
From my head, didn't it?
The tension hits a whole new level when Dave, one of the investigators, suddenly feels his silver cross burning in his hand. This creepy incident freaks everyone out, and the mounting sense of dread becomes too much for some team members, forcing them to retreat.
Honestly, something moved here. I heard it.
As the night wears on, the remaining investigators push forward, driven by a mix of fear and fascination. They retell the chilling legend of a man who struck a dark deal to become a werewolf, adding an extra layer of horror to their already intense night. By dawn, even the toughest members of the group are ready to call it quits, feeling like an evil presence is driving them out. As they leave, they can't shake the lingering questions. What dark secrets does Cannock Chase hold, and will they ever dare to return and face its terrors again? In the heart of the woods, a group of campers heads out for what they expect to be a relaxing trip, but instead they encounter a terrifying creature.
Oh, ow, man.
What? Did you hear something?
What?
The friends are having a wonderful time, laughing and enjoying each other's company, but everything shifts when one of them suddenly goes missing. A chilling scream pierces the night, sending shivers down their spines.
Stop. Okay.
Driven by worry, they venture deeper into the forest. Their flashlights illuminate a crude shelter made of branches, where an unsettling creature sits motionless. Without warning, the creature lunges at them, and chaos erupts as the camera captures nothing but screams and frantic struggles. A man named Trent confronts a terrifying ordeal in Belize as a mysterious creature hunts around his campsite. Witness how fear and danger test his limits.
Gosh, I'm so freaked out.
As Trent attempts to sleep, he is abruptly jolted awake by a frightening noise from outside. His heart races with fear, and a wave of paranoia washes over him. Quickly, he grabs his weapon, readying himself to confront whatever might be hiding in the darkness.
I gotta get out of here! Help me!
We just heard Trent screaming in the woods.
We can't take any chances, so we're all...
After a few tense moments, Trent realizes he can't remain at his campsite any longer. He makes the frantic choice to flee. His friends hear the commotion and rush to locate him, worried for his safety. The danger and fear are now more palpable than ever. A crew enters the woods not to seek harmony with the paranormal, but to provoke it. Posted in a particularly spooky video subreddit by Enrique Glue, this crew encounters a witch in the woods and decides to test her powers. While exploring, they spot something unsettling among the trees and brush, a creepy figure illuminated by their flashlight. The pale figure has long dark hair and is dressed entirely in black, standing motionless as they fix their gaze on her. She watches them in return. When they turn their flashlights and camera away, they find that she's still there, observing them. They shine their lights on her for a moment. She remains silent and still. They try to speak to her, but she doesn't reply. One member of the group throws something at the witch, hitting her perfectly, causing her to topple over. They then flee the woods in a panic after the encounter, and I can't help but hope the witch caught up with them. A YouTuber named Scotland Mountains, famous for hiking and camping, had this trip go south fast as he heard some peculiar noises throughout the night. After setting up camp, the adventurer takes in the view and begins to unwind. However, the tranquil evening is quickly interrupted by strange sounds coming from a distance.
Can you see the eyes down there? I was sure I was here.
The sounds are strange and disturbing. As he pays closer attention, he notices eerie eyes glinting in the dark, moving around, leaving him uncertain whether they belong to wildcats or something completely different.
Another trip, a new day, another rainy day surprisingly. Going for a little car camp tonight, but first I want to go and see this old castle called Castle Campbell. I do think it is closed down for the winter, but maybe I can get some cool drone shots or something like that.
Jack embarks on a solo car camping adventure in the Scottish Highlands, navigating challenging weather while enjoying breathtaking scenery throughout his adventure. He arrives at the Castle Campbell car park and sets up his comfortable camping spot.
Thankfully, to this car park. Okay, first things first, I need to pee, grab a quick snack, and then we're good to go. That was about 40 minutes ago since I last spoke to you. Look at it now. So dark. Anyway, the rain is getting super heavy now, so I'm going to quickly jump inside my car. I've got, I think, what I need tonight. So let's get in the car. Can you listen to this? It's so heavy. Yep, I have the car engine running with the heaters on. I was wet, my feet were wet, and now they're getting nice and toasty, and I feel cozy as hell. This is such a vibe.
However, later that night, his peace is disrupted by 2 cars playing loud music.
If you can see me right now, there's guys playing music to my left. There's actually 2 cars. Another one pulled up as well, and I did not feel good about this at all. So I am getting the hell out of here. I don't know where I'm going to go yet.
Feeling unsafe, he decides to leave the area swiftly.
I mean, this is where I am right now for context. You can see like I'm in the middle of nowhere right now. And 2 cars have pulled up, no lights on, music blaring, like a forest. I literally am driving on a forest. There's sticks in the road, there's everything that you can imagine. It's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like we're back on somewhat normal roads again. So this is a very quick update because I really shouldn't be speaking right now. I'm going to focus on the road.
Luckily, he managed to find a new spot to camp safely. In the winter of 2012, this YouTuber came close to disaster when a mother black bear charged at him, not once, but twice. Speed Shooter XD was hunting in an Oregon forest when he spotted some bears nearby and started filming. Initially, the mother bear kept her distance, but eventually she began charging toward him. The most terrifying moment in the video is the expression on the mama bear's face as she approaches, especially when played in slow motion. He managed to scare her off by making loud noises, but shortly after, she charged at him again before the video concluded. Fortunately, this YouTuber escaped unharmed, considering that black bears can run up to 40 miles per hour. If the bear had pursued him, he wouldn't have stood a chance. You know how in scary movies, when the character hears a strange noise and they go out to investigate? That scenario unfolds here in real life. Watch this.
I don't know what that sound is. It sounded canine.
Dude, there's a light. Why is there a light?
Upon exploring a mine that's believed to be haunted, we noticed the walls in the tunnel were dangerously bowed. We also found something peculiar in the ceiling. Take a look.
Onto this pile. Holy. Oh, dude. There's a separate tunnel here, too. Oh my god. Dude, there's a light. Why is there a light in there? Why is there a light in there? What's it say?
Light.
Light? You guys, oh my god. That just said light.
Upon further exploration, a strange light can be seen.
Why is there a light in there? Why is there a light in there? What's it say?
Light.
Light? You guys, oh my god. That just said light.
What do you think of this? In this video, the camper you see here has been visiting this specific spot for 4 years. However, this time, he was in for a chilling experience.
What the fuck is that?
Cracking noises echo around him, putting the man's dog on high alert as he wonders whether it's an animal or someone playing a prank. However, this is just the beginning of his eerie camping experience, as he's about to hear something even more unsettling.
Hi. I can hear you.
A YouTuber named Jake Carini and his friends are eager to have some creepy experiences, so they decide to summon the scariest thing they can think of: forest clowns.
We're all gonna think about clowns.
The app directs them to a spooky location in the woods that feels unsettling even in broad daylight. A bird calls overhead, but if you listen closely, you'll hear eerie sounds coming from deeper in the woods.
Do you guys hear that? I hear circus music.
One of them suddenly notices a strange sound, a distant tune that oddly remembers circus music. It's unsettling, especially since there's no logical reason for such a sound to be playing deep in the woods. The eerie melody fills the air, adding a creepy, unexpected twist to their surroundings. They leave before they can capture a clown sighting on video, but might consider exploring the area again one day. A camper boldly camps in a prison by himself. Let's see how this unfolds. The camper sets up in the cafeteria as night falls, and unsettling noises and shadows create an increasingly sinister atmosphere. Alone and isolated, fear begins to take hold. With the night comes more than just darkness. Coyotes start to circle the camp, their growls growing louder. The camper's fear intensifies as the coyotes become more aggressive. In a frantic bid for safety, the camper climbs onto the roof and barricades himself from the menacing coyotes lurking below. The night is filled with fear and anxiety, but as the hours pass, the first light of dawn eventually provides a much-needed sense of relief. Isolated, this camper goes on a solo trip deep in a solo forest.
20 मिनट लग जाते हैं। गाइस आवाज आई है तेंदुए की।
As night sets in, he records himself cooking a meal and sharing his thoughts with his audience. However, as he begins to cook, a strange noise suddenly echoes from the darkness behind him, startling the camper. His heart races as he looks around but finds nothing amiss. With a nervous laugh, he attempts to reassure himself and refocus on his cooking, trying to shake off the lingering sense of unease. YouTubers Brendan and Steve were in for a terrifying camping trip they wouldn't forget.
Do you have it as well?
Yeah.
Like a...
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at you, mate. There's a car pissing about up there.
Brendan and Steve attempted to sleep it off, but the sound of a car engine and others emerged. Brendan and Steve decided to investigate the noise. They cautiously approached the sound and noticed the glow of headlights from a car in the distance.
It's stalking us. It's if it's sitting up there with the headlights on. I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking at. Are you?
Yeah.
It seemed someone was nearby, and it quickly became clear that these were the same individuals who had been following them. We've all heard of camping encounters with bears and maybe even lions, but have you ever thought about running into alligators? In this video, a group of campers found themselves in that exact situation. They were peacefully sleeping in their tent when out of nowhere they spotted a bunch of alligators right outside. As the gators got closer to the tent, the campers started getting nervous. If you pay attention, you can actually see just how many there are. Those glowing eyes reflecting back in the dark tell you everything.
Acampar. Vamos dormir aqui, guys?
It's definitely not the kind of wildlife you want to wake up during a camping trip. A YouTuber heads out on a camping trip in the spring woodlands, excited to try out his new pole tent and military MREs. As he sets up, he's pretty stoked about the tent's spaciousness, stove jack, and fire-resistant mat. But this trip isn't just about his gear. While filming around the campfire with his dad, things take an unexpected twist. A misunderstanding about their firearms catches the attention of local law enforcement.
I'll pass you some names in a second, but one of the gentlemen actually owns this woodland and has got air rifles.
And she's got 2021, November 21. Yeah. Boy, don't look at me. Yeah, would have managed. Yeah.
Turns out his dad owns the woodland area and has an air rifle, but a passing jogger sees them handling the firearms and calls it in. Before they know it, the police show up, responding to the jogger's report. It's a tense moment, but after checking their credentials and firearm licenses, everything gets sorted out without any issues. Once the situation calms down, the YouTuber settles into his tent for the night, the soft glow of his LED strip lighting up the space. Morning comes with a gentle rain, and as he enjoys his MREs, he reflects on how important it is to leave no trace in nature. But the run-in with the cops is still fresh in his mind, a reminder that even a chill camping trip can take an unexpected turn. When we think about camping, we usually picture a perfect scene with beautiful trees and nature all around, but let me tell you, camping isn't always that dreamy. Take this spot in Oakland, California, for example. It's a far cry from the idyllic camping experience we all imagine. Honestly, it's probably one of the worst camping spots ever. Everything is just a mess, covered in dirt and chaos. It's pretty disturbing to see how much this place has fallen apart. It's really sad to think about how a once nice camping area has ended up like this. The stealth camping trip kicks off with some frustration as the adventurer struggles to find the perfect spot, thanks to annoying height barriers in the rural areas. After several failed attempts, he finally settles on a spot at Leith Hill. Though it's far from ideal, the steep slope makes setting up a sleeping area pretty tricky. As night falls, he cranks up the heater to fight off the cold and cooks up some curry for dinner. Just when things seem to be calming down, his peaceful evening is interrupted by unexpected fireworks going off near his van, leaving him totally confused.
Is someone exploding fireworks?
The van's sloped position adds to the challenges like water drainage issues and a sink that just won't cooperate. Despite all the little setbacks, he finds a way to get cozy in his mobile home.
I'm not even joking.
In the morning, he wakes up to a stunning frosty landscape, his first sight of frost and ice this season. To his relief, the heater ran all night without draining the battery, and he uses a window vacuum to clear the condensation, calling it a game changer for cold weather vehicle camping. Despite the ups and downs, this experience only deepens his love for the nomadic lifestyle. Even on the coldest mornings, there's something magical about waking up surrounded by nature. In the peaceful stretch of Rampart Range Road, between Littleton and Colorado Springs, our adventurer and his family set out for what should have been a relaxing midweek camping trip. But little did they know, danger was lurking just around the corner in this seemingly perfect spot.
I should give him a They're 2 miles away.
At 4 a.m., their peaceful sleep is shattered by the roar of a four-wheeler, and things quickly take a turn for the worse. A drunk couple rolls in, starting with loud cursing before escalating to outright physical threats. Our adventurer suddenly finds himself in a tough spot, trying to protect his family while calming down a rapidly heating situation. When the couple eventually disappears into the woods, leaving their broken down vehicle behind, the family faces a tough call. Should they pack up and leave in the middle of the night, or stay put and risk another confrontation?
Give him a ride 2 miles here, and they'll be done.
Choosing to stand their ground, the adventurer springs into action, turning their campsite into a well-lit fortress. With a pistol in hand just in case, they brace themselves for the couple's return. Each minute stretches on, the tension thick in the air as they wait, unsure of what's coming next.
You're not gonna hurt me, okay? I'll give you a ride. Please don't. Please don't.
They just hurt me.
Oh,
When the couple finally comes back, there's a moment of renewed tension, but instead of more threats, they offer to help fix their own vehicle, and slowly the mood shifts. The once hostile situation begins to calm as the family navigates their way out of what could have been a truly dangerous encounter. The video I'm about to share gave me serious claustrophobia just watching it. So this TikToker decided to go camping and film everything for TikTok. He thought he'd have a fun cave exploring adventure, but things took a turn he didn't see coming.
So the reason I kept pushing is I thought it was gonna get wider, but as I'm getting closer, I realized it's an illusion.
He kept pushing deeper into the cave thinking it would get wider, but as he got closer, he realized it was all an illusion. Unfortunately, the boy got trapped by a rock and was struggling to breathe. Panicking about the possibility of drowning, he shared how he ended up in this scary situation and was really fearing for his life, especially since it had been one of those off and on rainy days.
It's been like an off and on raining type of day. If it floods at all, I'm done for. So I'm gonna attempt to turn back around. Even though I don't know if I can.
He starts pushing against the rock to try and get out, but nothing's working. Would you ever try something like this? Our fearless duo sets off on a thrilling UFO hunting adventure at the edge of America's most mysterious military base. After a long, exhausting 7-hour drive, they find themselves surrounded by the pitch-black darkness of the Nevada desert, and that biting 45-degree chill only adds to the feeling of isolation as they pitch their camp right on the border of public access to Area 51. While keeping their eyes peeled for anything unusual, they suddenly spot a circular object zipping from east to west toward Groom Lake. It's only visible for a split second before disappearing, and that sighting has them buzzing with excitement. They decide to move closer to the entrance of Area 51, their adrenaline pumping as they chase the mysterious object that just vanished. As they watch, their excitement grows when they notice some security personnel in the distance, barely visible in the darkness and silently monitoring the area. Despite the potential risks, our brave investigators press on with their exploration. Their determination pays off when they catch sight of a strange, glowing object darting between distant mountain peaks, leaving them in awe of the unexplained phenomena unfolding before them. The tension spikes when they spot two security personnel watching them through binoculars, making them feel exposed and vulnerable. Realizing they're pushing their luck, the UFO hunters make the tough call to retreat. When you're out camping, you really need to watch your back because everything can go south in just seconds. In this video, we see a camper van totally engulfed in flames at what looks like a desert campsite. The fire is spreading like crazy, heading straight for the van and creating this massive cloud of smoke that's going to freak out the other campers. Like we mentioned before, wind can be one of the most dangerous forces out there because of how powerful it can be. In the midst of raccoon territory, they embark on what they hope will be a peaceful camping retreat, ready for whatever comes next. Into the great outdoors they go, totally unaware that their adventure is about to turn into a nail-biting showdown with some of the forest's wiliest critters.
I think one knows it.
As night falls, the first signs of trouble start to pop up. The rustling leaves and scratching little claws alert the campers that their masked foes have arrived. What begins as a lighthearted encounter with these furry bandits quickly shifts to concern when they realize just how determined and smart the raccoons are. Throughout the night, the campers stay on high alert, their anxiety growing with every daring move made by the raccoons.
Look at him all. Get up. There's a baby. What's he eating? Just snagged something.
By morning, the damage is clear. Chewed batteries and bloodstained gears show just how far the raccoon raids have gone. But despite the chaos, the campers push on with their day.
Your car?
Is that blood?
Blood? What is that? Yeah.
I don't know.
They were out here fighting, I know. Oh, it's all over.
Car?
Trying to make sense of the mess. As dusk approaches, our adventurer decides to set up a clever trap to outsmart the raccoons. He ties some kielbasa to a high pole, adding extra bait in a strategically placed chip bag to confuse and frustrate the crafty critters. Meanwhile, the campers get ready to make s'mores in a new way, prepping them before cooking. As night creeps back in, they hear rustling sounds signaling the return of the raccoons. But those little rascals manage to snag the kielbasa. In the next video, we see a camping spot where the wind has lifted all the tents, sending them flying through the sky.
Ich liebe euch alle, am Monaco. Oh mein Gott, wir werden alle sterben. Also, der Tornado zieht an uns vorbei, wie Sie sehen. Der Tornado zieht an uns vorbei. Wow, Alter. Geil. Hier, einmal winken. Hallo, hallo. Tornado, bye bye.
Oh my gosh, lucky for everyone, those tents aren't heavy and aren't a danger to anyone. Nobody gets hurt and people are actually laughing at the whole situation. There are a ton of ways to wake someone up, but I definitely wouldn't want this one. In the next video, a guy is catching some Z's in his tent when a bear decided it's time to rouse him. You can see him noticing a shadowy figure outside his tent, and he's curious enough to peek out. But when he unzips the flap, he totally freezes, because there's a massive bear just chilling outside. The guy freaks out and starts screaming, trying to scare the bear off. Luckily, it actually works. The bear gets spooked and takes off, leaving him unharmed. Can you imagine the adrenaline rush he must have felt? That's one wake-up call he won't forget anytime soon. Our daring YouTuber is off on his wildest stealth camping adventure yet, turning a U-Haul truck into a cozy urban hideout. Under the cover of darkness, he maneuvers through the concrete jungle, settling into a strip mall parking lot right behind a huge galleria. His makeshift mobile home becomes a fortress against curious eyes as security guards patrol the area, totally unaware of his secret sanctuary. But things take a turn early on when he realizes his water pump has failed, leaving him with barely any supply. Undeterred, he taps into his inner chef and whips up a spicy chicken udon stir-fry in his compact kitchen. The sizzle from the wok competes with his racing heart as a security guard's flashlight beam flickers dangerously close to his hideout.
We almost just got towed.
Dawn hits him with a harsh wake-up call as the screech of a tow truck threatens to cut his adventure short. Quick thinking and a bit of legal know-how save the day, but he has to make a hasty retreat to a nearby hotel parking lot. As the morning light shines on the challenges he faced overnight, he reflects on his close call and shares tips with his audience about the art of urban stealth camping. He proudly shows off the clever modifications he made to his mobile setup, proving his commitment to minimalist living and maximum efficiency.
Trying to pick up my truck. Funnily enough, before I was going to sleep, I was reading up a little bit. I found out that you can't tow a car if somebody's inside.
The snail-biting experience becomes a masterclass in urban survival and resourcefulness. As our adventurer signs off, inviting viewers to suggest his next destination, you can't help but wonder, in a world full of surveillance, how long can the thrill of stealth camping in plain sight last? You know those hook tents that let you hang your tent from your car? They're super handy, but it's not a great idea to be inside while driving. Well, it looks like this guy totally forgot about that. In the video, you can see the driver zipping up the tent and hitting the road. Completely unaware that his friend is still inside, the poor guy tries to cling onto the side of the tent to keep from falling out, but it's not working out for him. As he tumbles, he starts yelling to warn the driver that he's still in there, but the driver's got no idea. Before you know it, the guy takes a wild spill onto the ground. Talk about a wake-up call. It's a hilarious reminder to always double-check before you drive off because nobody wants to go for an unexpected ride like that. He is about to leave this cop completely stunned. Both his mind and his eardrums are in for a shock. As he ventures into the woods, something happens that makes his eyes go wide. Without a word, he puts away his flashlight, clearly done with whatever's going on, and decides to wait for backup. When backup finally arrives, it doesn't seem to help much either. The eerie part, the scream they hear sounds identical both times, making me think it might be a recording. Maybe someone set up a really good speaker system in the woods to mess with people, or at least that's what I want to believe, because the alternative is way too creepy to accept as real. Camping can be a total roll of the dice, especially when Mother Nature throws a fit. This video shows a camper who found himself trapped for a whopping 9 days thanks to an extreme storm. Just look at that tent swaying back and forth with no stability at all. The scene is completely blanketed in snow and thick fog, making it hard to even see what's going on. As the video rolls on, this guy gives us a real taste of the conditions he faced over those long days. He can barely make out his tent amidst all the fog, and it's clear he's battling against the elements every step of the way. Talk about a wild camping experience. Deep in the heart of a dense pine forest, a hiker and his dog set off on what was supposed to be a routine trek, but things quickly take an unexpected turn. As they climb the steep trail, the eerie stillness around them is unsettling. No wildlife, just flickering shadows that make the place feel almost haunted. The hiker remembers how this spot used to be a popular hiking area, but now it's overgrown and abandoned, with old hiking ramps and neglected trails standing as ghostly reminders of the past. It's as if the forest itself is watching their every move. He finds a small clearing to set up camp, his own little sanctuary in the wild. Gathering firewood is tough because of the recent rain, but with the help of his trusty axe, he manages to get enough for a fire.
The land has just been up and had a word with me. As you can see, it's pitch black now. And he's asked me not to camp here tonight.
Just as he's setting in for the night, the landowner shows up. They have a friendly chat, even exchange contact info for future visits. But there's a catch. The landowner asks him not to camp there that night. Apparently, there's a hunting session planned for early the next morning. They don't want anyone around for safety reasons.
Camp here again. Reason why I can't camp here tonight is because they're hunting early in the morning, so they're going to be shooting in here, so he don't want anyone in here.
So in the pitch black darkness, he packs up his gear and heads out. His plans cut short by the looming hut. As he leaves the silent woods behind, he reflects on the brief adventure, grateful for the experience. It's a reminder that even in nature, there are always forces beyond our control. Someone or something is lurking in the woods. Uploaded by Mr. Horror, the short clip captures a group of friends hanging out near the ruins of an abandoned structure deep in the forest. As the camera pans from the surrounding trees toward the building, it catches a quick glimpse of something moving near the doorway. The mysterious figure is just a blur with no clear features, and before you can make out anything, it darts out of sight. The cameraman rushes forward, revealing a campfire burning nearby, but whatever they saw seems to have vanished. What was it? Could they be getting stalked by something unknown? From the looks of it, that's exactly what seems to be happening. This has to be one of the creepiest things I've ever heard about in the woods. Back in 2012, a hiker in Long Island, New York, was out for a stroll when he stumbled upon something truly bizarre. As he walked along the trail, he found dozens of missing person signs plastered everywhere. What made it even more unsettling is that each sign was for a real disappearance case that had happened in the area. As the hiker kept going, he noticed some strange stuff. A blanket, an empty can, and this big structure made of sticks that looked like it was put together by someone. The whole scene was just off. Then out of nowhere, he starts hearing voices, and that's when he really starts to freak out. In a panic, he whipped out his camera and started recording everything, later bringing the footage to the police. To this day, the mystery behind those missing person signs remains unsolved, even though his video went viral and still sparks a lot of speculation and intrigue among those who see it. Our adventurer heads out on a gritty wilderness survival journey, deep into an ancient forest, leaving all modern comforts behind.
भाई अचानक से यार इसको लकड़ी से ऐसे slide.
As evening falls, the forest takes on a creepy vibe. Shadows flicker at the edge of the firelight, and strange, unfamiliar sounds echo through the trees. Without the safety of a tent, he feels totally exposed and vulnerable to the unpredictable wild around him. Back at his shelter, he gets ready to cook, building a makeshift oven with rocks and starting a fire. But once night truly sets in, the forest becomes even more unsettling. Shadows seem to dance around the flames and mysterious noises grow louder, with random loud bangs breaking the silence and cranking up the tension. The tough conditions and growing fear really start to test his mental and physical strength. The endless night seems to stretch on forever, with every sound feeling amplified, making him feel even more vulnerable. Without the usual protection of a tent, he can't help but reflect on how much comfort a simple tent can bring, something he's missing right now. As dawn finally approaches, he throws more wood on the fire to stay warm, anxiously waiting for the first signs of daylight. The video you're about to see blew up on social media and shows a really creepy encounter that a camper had while exploring the Appalachian Mountains. As the camper was wandering around, he stumbled upon this weird figure and thought it would be a good idea to start recording the whole thing. From the footage, you can see that the figure looks super strange. It doesn't really resemble a human at all. It's lurking in the shadows, almost like it's trying to hide from the camper, which only adds to the eerie vibe. After the video made the rounds online, tons of people started speculating about what this figure could be. Some think it's a ghost, while others have wild theories about it being some kind of creature. What do you think? Is it just a trick of the light, or is there something more sinister lurking in those woods? In the heart of ancient British woodlands, our adventurous YouTuber Mandy sets off on what he thinks will be a peaceful gear testing trip. He picks out a spot in the woods and goes over the gear he's brought along. Camping gadgets, cooking equipment, his new X-bed tent, a sleeping pad, and a sleeping bag.
Tent. To be honest, it's way too big for one person, but when I'm camping locally, that's when I tend to take out my big tents with me.
As twilight sets in, Mandy's campsite transforms into a cozy little haven. But just when things are looking peaceful, his evening is about to take an unexpected twist.
Got it. Just been busted. Really busted. Like.
Out of nowhere, the roar of a Land Rover shatters the quiet. 3 men step out, one with a weapon and another surprisingly dressed in a suit. Not exactly the usual woodland vibe. Mandy's heart starts racing as he scrambles to explain himself, using his YouTube channel as an unexpected lifeline to get out of this tense situation.
This old guy with a gun, someone in a suit, and then the backup.
With a mix of humor and grace, Mandy manages to turn what could have been a disaster into a valuable lesson for anyone who enjoys the outdoors. After the encounter, he reflects on the experience, admitting it was his first time getting caught while wild camping. He stresses the importance of being polite and non-confrontational in these kinds of situations. Mandy had him realize it was a hunting area and acknowledged his mistake, reminding his viewers to always double-check where they set up camp. Number 3 features someone named Corn1234, who's not sure what to make of the video and is asking for help figuring out if it's something paranormal. The clip shows strange lights in the woods at night, starting with a single tiny red light at the 2:28 mark. Soon after, the entire forest is lit up with these bizarre flashing lights, seemingly suspended in midair. Corn turns the camera across the field and spots even more of these lights in the distance. He insists it's not coming from houses or towers, and I have to agree, it's too random and strange. The lights seem to appear and vanish with no clear explanation. It almost looks like Christmas lights. But this video was shot in the middle of July, so what could these mysterious lights be? In the freezing cold of a Danish winter, our bold traveler sets out on a daring journey across Europe, relying on nothing but his quick thinking and the kindness of strangers.
I think that there may be a chance that I might be in Belgium tonight. Although, yeah, that seems a bit optimistic, but honestly it's doable if things keep going like
This ambitious trek from Denmark to Belgium turns into a tale of human connections. Along the way, he meets all sorts of characters, like a former programmer turned house builder in Cannes, a seasoned hitchhiker full on wild stories. Each ride is a new adventure filled with unexpected acts of kindness, even when he faces a language barrier with a Turkish truck driver. They manage to communicate through gestures and goodwill. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. The tangled highways of Germany feel like a puzzle, slowing him down and testing his determination.
Nee, ik ben een autostopper. Ja? Autostopper? Ja, hitchhiking. In the parket. Ach zo, okay. But
Fate steps in, though not in the best way, when he gets stopped by the police. After a tense hour of negotiating and a €500 fine, he's back on the road, dropped off about 20 kilometers from Arnhem.
I slept in the drive, so that's nice, but me, was it cold?
As night falls and the weather worsens, our traveler realizes he won't make it to his destination that day. But despite the cold, fear, and unexpected twists, this journey becomes more than just about reaching Belgium. It's a testament to the power of resourcefulness, human connection, and the unforgettable experiences that happen when you trust the road ahead. A YouTuber named Outdoors with Eric patrols his property at night, convinced there is a mysterious creature lurking in the woods. It's definitely a creepy spot, but Eric is determined to catch whatever it is on camera. Despite his fear, he pushes forward, determined to gather evidence. At 1 minute and 43 seconds into the video, he hears terrifying noises echoing from the woods. It's hard to say what kind of creature would be out there, screaming in the middle of the night. What do you think it could be? He keeps walking for about another minute until the eerie sounds get louder and closer, stopping him in his tracks.
Man, you guys hear that?
He zooms in with his night vision camera, and at first you can barely make out a shape, but once he adjusts the settings, it becomes clearer there are 2 creatures across the stream moving closer.
That is bizarre. They're coming closer. Analytics. Yeah.
He spots 2 glowing dots in the distance, which he believes mark the location of these nighttime screamers. There's no doubt the sounds and creatures are real, but the big question remains, what exactly are they? A YouTuber sets out on a solo camping adventure in a dense forest. What starts off as a peaceful night sky quickly spirals into a spine-chilling ordeal. It's late and the forest is eerily silent as a YouTuber films from inside his campsite, reflecting on the tranquility in nature. But out of nowhere, a creepy knock echoes against the RV, snapping him out of his thoughts. He freezes, startled by the unexpected sound. And then things get even weirder. He hears slow footsteps approaching, as if someone is creeping up to peer into the windows. The unsettling feeling of being watched intensifies, and before long, the scariest moment unfolds. The mysterious knocker returns, this time dragging their knuckles slowly down the door with a menacing, deliberate determination. It's as if whoever or whatever is outside isn't planning to leave anytime soon.
They're not mine. Son, look at me, man. Look at me. All right? I'm being honest as I can be. Look at me. I ain't got no damn reason. I know you said jail. Please don't do this. That's a good reason. I understand that, but look at me.
In Lakeland, Florida, what seems like a simple camping setup quickly turned into a police bust. The incident started when an officer was out on routine patrol and noticed two people camping in what looked like an ordinary tent. Thinking it was just a couple of folks out for a night under the stars, the officer approached to check on them, but things took a turn when the officer decided to inspect the tent more closely.
What's your name? Chris. Yes, sir. Step out here for me. Yes, sir.
Inside the tent, instead of the usual camping gear, there were drugs and paraphernalia scattered around. What started as a casual inquiry became a full-blown bust.
Shit.
I'll just try to keep eyes on the phone.
Have a seat. You want to go over with him? Sit down. Can I get a cigarette? He knows me.
Sit down.
Yes, sir. Man, you know me. Can I sit on the bench or something?
Sit down.
All right. Well, there's the fire.
The campers were immediately detained, and the situation escalated into a drug investigation. Body cam footage captured the entire moment, showing the officer's surprise and the tension as the truth came to light. The two suspects, clearly caught off guard, were arrested on the spot and taken into custody.
You start reaching around when I look at you through the window. I reached around, sir. I don't know what you're reaching for. I understand. I'm not mad at you. I understand, man. I mean, you whipped that damn curtain open, and I was like, oh. I got you, man. Can I light a cigarette, please, sir? You got a lighter and a cigarette in your pocket? What's up with it? Hey, there's nothing crazy or illegal in here, is there? Man, listen, like I said, he knows me, man. I'm gonna tell you if there's something. Am I honest?
Sometimes I think.
Sometimes it's bullshit.
You came in the house on watching? There?
Where?
With the dogs, with like shit on the yard.
It's a CO2 BB gun that I got you, bro.
Yeah. I got you. Put your hands behind your back, man.
For what?
We'll talk about it.
What? What am I?
That big old bag of needles and...
That big old bag of needles is from out here, man. He'll tell you I don't...
Right, dude.
Do that, bro.
All right, we'll talk about it.
You have a rare president with you.
You can decide at any time to exercise rights and not answer any questions or anything. Understand?
Yeah, man.
We're going to talk about whatever the needles...
Is that what you quickly tossed when I was walking around the corner? No, sir. I was
that was where you were reaching into.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't got no reason to lie to you, bro. Or sir, I'm sorry. Look, I turned around and look, I'm not moving or running. I was down picking my fingernail. You said, leg on PD. I turned around. That's what I turned around quick for. I had them needles right there. You can ask my girl to throw away. I've cleaned up all this shit. Look, man. I'm being honest with you, bro. Please don't do this to me, man. I start work on Monday, bro. Please.
Okay.
Please, buddy. I'm writing a court date or something, man. They're not mine. I'm not going to own up to something that ain't mine. There's been dirt all over the side. Come on, bud. Please.
Do you have anything to say about it?
What did I do?
Just cleaning up used needles?
Just trying to get rid of all
Look how
the used
old
needles?
the blood is in them, man.
No, I got you. Put your hands behind your back. Okay, look, you're telling me you found all those needles out here,
I can
plus
show
that
you right
fresh,
where.
listen, plus that fresh, empty bag of what appears to be methamphetamine.
Sir, I found all.
You don't know nothing about those needles, but you got a new bag, well, not new, about half empty. Or wait, I'm sorry, this is a new bag. A new bag of needles at your feet.
Oh,
so what's up with that? Are they your needles or not?
Those are mine. I keep
But those ain't.
those are not mine.
No?
No.
Am I gonna find anything else in there?
I give them to my.
Am I gonna find anything else in there? In your area?
No, I'm telling you, those are not mine. Those I give them.
There it is. There's that empty bag on your side, Amanda. On your side.
That's your higher authority. It's a CO2.
Oh, I know what it is. I already checked. But,
listen, these raccoons.
But damn, bro, you about one wrong move from a bad day pulling this on the road.
I told you about that.
I know you told me.
Oh, okay.
But I mean that looks about as real as it.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I can't buy a gun out here.
You convicted?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm telling you, man. What? That the needles and stuff is yours, man. You're not gonna tell them it's mine. You tell them it's yours.
Later, during questioning at the police station, the investigation revealed that the duo had been using the tent as a cover for their drug activities. What seemed like a peaceful camping trip in the heart of Lakeland's quiet spots turned into a legal nightmare for the two individuals. Now, instead of enjoying the outdoors, they are facing serious charges for drug possession and paraphernalia. A stark reminder that you never know what's really going on behind closed tents. Imagine spending a night alone in the woods with a storm raging outside. That's exactly what the solo camper in Berry Ditch, Shropshire, experienced, and it's chilling.
Somebody just pulled up right next to the car. It's called midnight.
Arriving in the dark woods, the camper sets up inside its car as night falls. Almost immediately, eerie noises and strange shadows start closing in around him, making the setting even more unsettling. As the storm picks up, with rain pounding and the wind howling, the camper's anxiety grows. His car heater is barely working, and every noise outside puts him more on edge. Thunder rumbles in the distance and lightning flashes through the trees, making the safety of the car feel less and less secure.
My God.
The camper is left wondering how long his fragile shelter will hold up against the fury of the storm and the mysterious sounds outside. As the police geared up to investigate a call, they were tipped off about a couple of people camping in an unusual spot right outside a house, practically on the front yard and along the street. Locals had noticed the scene and couldn't help but watch this strange setup. The campers seemed to be having a good time, completely unaware of the attention they were drawing. The catch? This wasn't just any front yard. It belonged to the city attorney. Talk about picking the wrong place to set up camp.
Hello? Is there somebody who's in charge of the tent? Pardon? Is there somebody who's in charge who owns that tent? Is it yours?
It's not mine.
No? Is it one of yours? Is that your tent, sir? Is it yours? Is anybody claiming ownership of this tent?
I'm the police name.
When the officers arrived, it was clear things were about to get interesting. The campers, relaxed and seemingly oblivious to the trouble brewing, were confronted by the police. They were quickly informed that you can't just pitch a tent in someone's yard, let alone in front of a city official's house.
So here's the thing. The property owner doesn't want them on their property, okay?
Okay.
So now there's a trespass notice. I'll talk to you because you say that you're the liaison to them. if you could tell them, they can just move right over to this piece of grass right here. That's public property, okay? But the property owner of this particular address no longer wants them on their property, all right?
Hi, we want you guys to move to the other side of the grass.
Can you tell them that they are subject to arrest if they don't?
It's not a request, it's an order. They have to go over there.
So they're saying
leave.
that it's in order and
Or they're going to be placed under arrest.
The property owner does not want them on their property.
they're saying that you will be lit because they are saying that the property owner is saying that they do not want for you guys to be
On their property. You can, we have
their property.
We have no problem with you guys protesting, but this is currently private property that you reside on, okay? So you have to move somewhere that's public, all right? Because the property owner does not want you on their property. You are subject to arrest if you don't comply, all right? That's it. You guys can just move right over. That piece of grass over there is public property. It's a public park, and you're legally allowed to be there until 11 p.m., okay?
Take some time to start getting up and everything.
Well, they're not moving. That's the problem. So they're just completely ignoring our commands. So they're not complying. So they need to start getting up, getting their stuff, and going over to a different side, going over to the public property over there. Okay?
I'll start. Like I said before, I'm the police liaison, so anything that you want to tell them, tell me, and I will tell them.
And we have. We've already explained it to you, and they're not listening to you, is what I'm saying.
So like I said before, if there is anything that you want to tell them, you can talk to me, and I will say it to them.
Okay.
So is there anything that you want to tell them right now for me to tell
They need to
them?
leave or they're going to be placed under arrest.
Hi. Are you guys going to
23 as
comply?
copy. We're getting a 10-8, 11-17.
Are you guys going to comply?
They didn't answer you. They did not answer you. So what are they going to do then? Here's the deal. This is your last warning, final warning. You must get up. You must start vacating the property, or you're going to be placed under arrest.
So, like I said before, because I am the police liaison.
Okay,
any
they're not
warnings
listening to
that
you. I need you to
have for
stand
them-
over there. This is going to you too, okay? This is private property. You have to leave. I need you to stand over there for me.
You can stand up. Come on up.
Place your hands together for me, buddy.
Despite the fun they were having on their own, the law is the law. What started as an innocent-looking camping trip turned into a legal confrontation, with the officer stepping in to remind them that the city streets and front lawns aren't exactly prime real estate for camping. It was a pretty bold move that quickly backfired, and the campers found themselves backing up and possibly facing some unexpected consequences. Deep in the wilderness, a solo camper was relaxing by the fire when a sudden sharp sound pierced the quiet night. One moment everything was calm, and the next, the peacefulness was shattered. The camper immediately snapped to attention, eyes scanning the darkness as a mysterious crack echoed through the trees.
Yeah, chilling by the fire, and we heard a crack in the forest.
Oh, there's a bird there.
Grabbing his flashlight, he cautiously ventured into the night, both intrigued and uneasy, determined to find the source of the noise. As he swept the beam of light across the forest floor, something unsettling came into view. Scattered personal belongings left behind like someone had been there recently.
So guys, we went out to go and investigate the strange noises that we were hearing, and this is what we found at the bottom of the property.
The discovery only deepened the mystery, leaving him wondering who or what had been in the area before him. Number 2. If you're playing hide and seek in the woods, you might end up being sought by something far more sinister. Published by RexyBoy34 in September 2009, this video captures a group of friends goofing around in the woods when they suddenly realize they're not alone. The cameraman is casually filming the eerie woods, which look particularly unsettling in the fading afternoon light. As the camera pans toward his 3 friends, something strange happens. Someone or something is creeping up behind them.
What the f was that? Behind you. I'm being serious, there was something there. There was. I'm not.
Over one of their shoulders, a dark figure appears for just a second before vanishing behind a distant tree. The group turns around, thinking he's joking, but the cameraman isn't kidding. He saw it too, and so do we. They all stare at the tree in silence for a moment, and then the figure reappears, striding toward them. Chaos breaks out as the group erupts in screams and confusion. The big question remains, what is this figure after, and why is it stalking them in the woods? Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.